Alright, so I'm spending tonight trying to evaluate my vintage Spaceman collection, and I'm drawing a distinction between astronaut forms, which, like these guys here, which are sort of derived from how spacesuits are really structured, and spacemen, which are more fantastical in nature and based upon science fiction trends rather than the mechanics of space exploration. What I know for sure is that most of the forms on this table are pre-1990. Many of them are pre-1980. Some of them are pre-1970. A few are pre-1960. Not many, though. The green guy, is intriguing. Pretty sure he's a real Archer or Ajax spaceman. There's his patent pending mark. And his gun tip broken off from wear. By comparison, this is a 1991 recasting by Glencoe. You can just sort of tell, I don't know if the camera will reveal it, but you can just sort of tell that the plastic is different. It's an authorized recasting, so it's nice and sharp and clean, but there's just a luster about the green one that the gray one doesn't come close to. And this guy here is frustrating. Sorry about dropping him there. He's the wrong color for Ajax or Archer, or at least that's the impression that I'm under. And the only thing I can find as far as a mark is a little thing there behind his elbow, and he doesn't like to stand up very well. Wondering if it's a copy from Mexico or something like that. Let's see. I don't know what these three are. They're probably based on Marx forms. They're all stamped China on the bottom, as are these white ones in the same poses, stamped China, and I'm pretty sure they go with the place set that the lunar lander came from. I also have the Lunar Rover as well. These are likely by Marx, and I'm learning to call them pod-footed recasts of Chilrea spacemen, and they're not by Swoppet, although they are Swoppet style in that they have removable parts. This guy here, he's probably my favorite of them all. He's an Operation Moonbase original by Louis Marx. There's the bottom of it there, and the level of detail to his rendering is striking. Especially, here's another one from that set. When you compare it with these gray guys here, whom I don't know what these are actually, and I don't know if the camera can reveal it, but the plastic, this one has almost a I don't want to say translucent, but it's a softer looking plastic. This is a harder looking plastic. This one is stamped made in China, and they have also come with this set because the plastic sort of resembles that. This has no stamping on it and has a higher level of detail as well. And I pulled out this German plastic soldier that I've had my entire life. This is the only thing here on the table that I grew up with. Lighting is suffering here, but you can sort of see that their plastic it looks a lot more similar than that, as sort of a lighter color to it. Down here on the bottom, this is another Marx Astronaut that was painted, and it's actually got the Marx stamp in it. This one here next to it, I believe it's by Timmee, along with some of these forms up here. It was called the Lazer Team, I think. Not sure. The robot came with it. They all have a little sort of notch there in the side of them that is consistent to all, and the look of the plastic is just different than that one. The one on the right looks more vinyl. The one on the right looks aged and older. I'm pretty sure the Alien came with the set, although the color, again, here's one of the robots, and there's the little notch there. Here's another one of the robots, and again, it's got the notch. So I'm pretty sure those are by Timmee, if I'm pronouncing the name right. With this row up here, I think the white one, these two white ones were part of the set that came with the lander. The orange one next to it, again, is Marx. You can see the stamping on the bottom, and the level of detail, it's just so much crisper and sharper than what's next to it. There's another one of the Timmee pieces, and again, it's just so much crisper and sharper than the white one to the left. Orange guy is definitely Marx, and I put him next to the gray one because he may be a Marx recast. I'm not sure. There's nothing stamped on the bottom. This one also is part of that, and my German soldier has no mark on his bottom as well. And it is a tangled weave. All of these companies shared, maybe willingly or not, each other's forms, and recastings and reissuings were done without any sort of nomenclature or documentation of whom was deriving which from who. And I'm sort of in love with them as an idea. The idea of the spaceman is definitely different than the idea of the astronaut. I'm going to work with both ideas. Sort of, these have a footing more in, I guess, the pulp science fiction trends of the day leading up to the late 60s. And then some of them were just reused after the Apollo era. And another distinction that I'm making is between how the figures are rendered. The NASA figures are somewhat stiff and static, and these guys all have some motion and dynamic to them that the later astronaut forms just don't have. It's a very specialized little area of collecting related to toy soldiers, but somewhat different. And the most intriguing form here on the table is this red Mercury capsule. Absolutely no markings on it at all. It's actually cast in a rubber. I don't know what it is. The seller didn't know what it is, but it's definitely an old vintage piece of goodness that I'm going to use to make art with. And that's sort of the point of this. Most of the ones that are a little bit nicer, like these guys, I don't think I'll touch them, but the white ones are going to get repainted or painted, not repainted, but painted by me and added to diorama pieces. Some like these guys, and the ones above them, they'll be used for photography work. And that's sort of why I have to figure out which is which. Which ones can I just sort of slap around and have fun with, and which ones really do need to be taken care of and regarded as museum pieces, which is pretty much what all this stuff is. Nobody makes space toys anymore like this. Anyway, that's what I'm doing for my Friday night. Back to figuring out this capsule. Maybe? I don't know. All I know is it rules.